Welcome back to Tennis Manager, episode 53. I was disappointed last time when finding out that Stoyer, upon hitting 250 in the rankings, didn't get 100% satisfaction. For every other youth player we've had, that was their only goal in the first season. Stoyer added the goal of being top 10 nationally, and when she hit 250, she was only 17th nationally, so we're at 50% on that. But she continues to climb. I've done a couple of weeks since the end of the last episode, and Stoyer is already up another 20 spots in the rankings, winning another low-level tournament. And very soon, I am promoting her to second-tier tournaments, and so we'll see. She can score a lot more points rather quickly there. The difficult thing about doing that and the success that she's having right now is we're looking at more difficult challenges for next year when she's going to have higher expectations, but I'd still love to see her hit that mark for this year. Sella, who was injured, is now finally back to full health just in the last couple of days and is fit and happy, and Tobin is, well, not. A couple early exits, and suddenly he's struggling. In fact, he's even struggling with his game plan that we've established for him. So I might need to focus a little extra attention on that to help him out, but he definitely needs some peak form training here in the next little bit. But Igna is doing well, and she is climbing senior level to second tier. Nos, we're almost recovered. We haven't played a tournament because of the injury. He'll be in for the next one around. And Uni continues to be Uni. Round of 16 exit, but because she's ranked in the top 8, she feels like she should have gone one round further, and therefore gets disappointed and loses form. But she's still happy, and she still has all of her goals, and we could and should be very, very close to our next offer. But the board also thinks that it's time for them. They took 20k. We were at 835 just moments ago, but now down 20k on that. Makes it a little bit harder to save money that you need to spend when the board takes from the pot. However, that's nowhere near what we get at the end of the year. It's okay. We can take it. We can handle it. We're about to have a turn of the month here in less than a week anyway, and that will, in and of itself, offset that 20k and then some. And actually, I'm really curious when we get into that first couple of days of July. I want to see what our monthly turnover is now. I believe all of our upgrades are now done. They are. All of our current upgrades that we had are complete. And I have not had a notice recently, as in I think throughout the month of June. So I think by May they had all finished. But in terms of the business stuff, we still have 5 departments, and one of them has 2 levels. So we actually still have 6 upgrades to go to complete the business center and max it out entirely. Now, with the quantity of injuries that we've had this season, I am going to have to keep an eye out on our contracts. Not that they are that important. We make plenty of money otherwise, but for example, with Uni, we've got a very good 400k and additional 123k that we can obtain. 500k is a lot of money, and we could really use the bonus from achieving that. We've already achieved some additional bonuses already this year, but making a Grand Slam final is the other potential bonus that she has. But anyway, the big thing I need to watch out is tournament participation and how we're doing. Uni's at 13. Nos, just 11. We've already missed a couple of tournaments, so he's a bit behind. Igna's only at 10. She missed some time. Tobin's at 12. Sella's at 11. She didn't miss much. Stoyer's at 16. We've been rocking it, and I can and should. Once Stoyer gets to her 20, I don't need to push the ranking. She's got some satisfaction. She's gonna be just fine going into next year, even if I don't hit that 100%. I don't necessarily need to push her to top 10 in her national rankings. I think I would be quite satisfied sitting her out. She's up to 16 now for Germany. But yeah, top 10's a ways off yet, I would think. And I would be quite content with just kind of training down the stretch for her and help her develop and gain some ground rapidly, because you get a lot more from training than you do from doing tournaments. Igna doing well, the only active player this week. Everybody else is training, and Igna is into a final, and she's claimed victory in it. I'm not sure if I've bumped her up to the second tier yet, or if it's still in the future. Either way, that is a tournament victory for her, bringing her up now into the top 300. That was second tier, so she's continuing her winning ways right on into the second tier now. Cash cow kind of stuff yet, but 7K and counting and growing, and every little bit counts. We'll have to do a little extra math because we did just have the turn of the month. It's somebody's birthday today. 37,000 is the profit right now for the current month, but we have to subtract out the 7K. So looks like we've stabilized at about 30K monthly profit currently as things stand. Now remember, we had some upgrades that had financial benefit to them. And then we also hired a new staff member, a very unnecessary staff member, but it was successful in taking us from 3 stars to 3.5 stars, which means across the board, and especially at the end of the year, where we take expiring contracts and go for upgrades, we will be able to go after better contracts, better staff members, and perpetually, stack yourself into a better scenario. And we've had so many upgrades this year that we are looking really strong in that part as well. Quick review of where we stand on how we got to this 3.5 stars. For one, the talent zone has been solid for a long time now, but training, 3.5 stars now. A 3.9 on that sports center, though, does make me want to get at least one upgrade there to push it to a 4.0 or better. And there are definitely future staff slots that will be able to get out of that. I think for the moment, we could be at capacity, but maybe not. Maybe we have opened up a slot, but again, that'll feed into being able to do more next year. I'm happy with the staff I have right now. The one change I've made has already been a sufficient growth component for us. Medical, 3 stars, 3.9 though, same thing. Get one more, we're pushing 4.0 or better. Scouting has grown. Now it's 2.5 stars. We have a level 4.9 on the Youth and Scouting Center. Very, very high rating. Looking really good. And we are solid for the average level of our 2 staff members, or 2 scouts. And upgrading the weaker one of them, the one that's been around longer, will also do us some good. Business Center, 3.5 stars. 5.4 for the level. Easily the highest of all of them, and of course has been the focal point of late to help us with the monthly finances. 30K a month adds up real fast. Something I've been meaning to do for a long time, and I appreciate the reminder on this one. Let's see what's happened to the former members of our team. So I'm going to take this one by one on when they left the team, not necessarily when they joined the team. But Inzaghi was that first one that we had, did not stick around long. For us, best ranking was 359 in the juniors. Inzaghi, 23, retired. Only ever got to 1.5 stars. Did not live up to his potential. However, he didn't have a lot of potential. He only had some. He was in our first class and was pretty weak. Candidate number 2, Takalenko. I think we've played against him here at one point, and I saw the name and I recognized the name and I was going, I know them. Why do I know them? I'm not sure. And after I had finished that section of recording and had moved on, it dawned on me that it was our former player, Takalenko. He was also with us for just a short while. Same sort of scenario, though. Filler, not quite good enough. He only got just slightly higher in the rankings at 340. And Takalenko has moved to the Ukrainian Federation now 21 in the seniors. 1491. I'm going to go ahead and evaluate him also just later on. I'd love to see how he's actually doing. He's got his game plans. He's still using the correct game plan, but he has definitely not developed much at all. We're going to have to take a second look at all these once we get the scouting done of these players. But the next one to have left the team was Kotov, Yaroslav Kotov. Also, just a 1 year with us and a very similar ranking of 367. Did not do very well with us, but has done definitely a bit better in development. Get that evaluation going. 752 in the senior rankings. Now 20 years of age. It's not very high for a 20-year-old, but we'll see more about him soon. He has one career title. He's been a pro for 2 years now. Next up, we lost two players in the same year, both Tanaway and Menicella. For Tanaway, with us a long time, 25 to 31. She was that real experiment to see if we could have anything like Uni, but in particular, if we could have somebody with standard development instead of an early bloomer or a late bloomer, somebody standard. If you can actually get into that period and start to see that increase in development. Well, it turns out that her potential just was not great. We got into that period. We kept her around long enough to reach that era, and she was developing faster than she had been before, but it was not significant. And Tanaway, after all those seasons, just was not very good. She got all the way up to 519 in the rankings for us. Now, what is it, a year later? Is it 1 year later? 31, end of 31. We're into 33. So we did all of the 32 year and now half of the 33 year. So it's been a year and a half since leaving Tanaway behind. That time's gone by awfully quick, hasn't it? We're going to need to get back in and evaluate her as well. She's still playing in the pros. She's 22, but she slipped from 519 way down to 1214. Meaning, I think realistically, she has barely won a freaking thing since leaving the academy. She is not in any academy now, just a local tennis club, and just one title, which she did have that one title with us. So 0 titles since leaving. She's had a rough year and a half. Her win percentage has dropped off a lot. The other one to leave at that time was Menicella. Menicella started a few years later, not until 28. Was only with us for the 3-year contract period of the initial coming out of the academy. His highest rank was in the juniors at 34th. And if you remember, Menicella was, as this just happened that year and a half ago now, Menicella was somebody who got it going just a little bit too late, and we could not get a contract across the line at that time. He's 157th at senior level now as a 20-year-old with 3 titles. Has been as high as 126th in the rankings. Well, somebody has done well for themselves since leaving the academy. He's with the American Federation right now. And last up is Mataras. Mataras also just the 3-year contract. We wanted to hang on to him, but we could not get a contract over the line. But I've actually really enjoyed having Stoyer in the team. So far that's worked out quite well. He was the highest of anyone on this list besides Tanaway. Tanaway, the only one who made it to the seniors before leaving the academy, but Mataras was as high as 13th. Mataras came on really strong at the end last year. Again, we don't know as much about them as we could or should. We still have a bit of knowledge about them as they've only been gone for half a year. But Mataras, now 18, is playing in the seniors and has done well, already up to 631. We had him pretty developed, and he's been swept up and signed by IMG Academy. They know the talent that's there. He was a good one. Didn't want to lose him. He still has a great win ratio and is coming along pretty quickly. But I do want to point out that Mataras and Igna were in that same class. So was Nos, for that matter. They're all the same age. Talk about class, right? Heck of a trio. Anyway, Igna despite Mataras and his success since leaving us 6 months ago, Igna has caught past him. She's already up to 277. And she was the one that started way behind, right? Mataras kind of started just a hair better than Nos in terms of quality. And then Igna was way behind them, like a point and a half back. I think it was like a point and a half. I think it was a solid point and a half. It was a huge gap in initial quality day one. Mataras actually showed signs the first few weeks that he was like the strongest, but then it quickly became apparent that Nos was developing at a whole different level. And remember that Mataras is an early bloomer, I believe. Igna's a late bloomer, so is Nos, but they're pretty special, and they have done quite well. Problem for Igna is her killer instinct and fighting spirit are still atrocious, but as we get her up to a little bit higher levels, I think that will finally start to take off, but she'll gain like 4 points, and you would think it wouldn't go into composure at this point. She'd probably gain 3 of one and 1 of another, or 2 and 2 of those later two, giving her, like a 5 and a 6. Pretty bad still. Not good, especially compared to literally all of her other attributes that she's really caught up on now. I mean, she's an 11 to 14 in all of her physicals, 12 to 14 on the controllable mentals, and outside of 4, well, timing and control are not skill shot ones, but they're not necessarily the top attributes. She's pushing into a lot of 10s and 11s, couple 8s, couple 9s, and the rest is all 10 or 11 now in the technicals. She's come a long ways. She has come an awful long ways, and she's not far from being done with that physical training. Couple levels to go in there before we can shift her over and really focus on the other attributes. She, all along, was a little bit more balanced compared to the others. Struggled for a long time, but she's really pulled it together of late and is climbing rapidly. 6 titles already. Uni had a first round exit at Wimbledon. That hurts. Nos missed it, just now fully recovered, but he would have been able to play. He would have been able to play just fine this week. But Uni, just 16,000 for a first round exit, and that is going to destroy her form, which was not good going into it anyway. From what was it, second round, right? Not second round, round of 16 exit on a 500 tournament. Just ticked her off to no end. But the 7 seed just lost to the 100th ranked 100th ranked player. That is pitiful. I mean, look how easy that path is. Look who's continuing to progress, though. Well, and that has taken away any momentum that I had to go in to try to negotiate a contract once again, because I was waiting for us to hit about 900K. We just lost both Nos's and Uni's bonuses, or most of those bonuses, for a slam, which could have been huge. But then we also just lost the morale part. We still have the satisfaction, and that's not going away. Uni's locked in on that part, but this is suddenly getting a little bit trickier. Now, this is easy enough to recover, though. Just take some time off of training. It looks like there was some discomfort, and that actually could have been part of the reason why. And the form's not 100% gone. It's just weak. I'm rather surprised by that, but I'm also rather surprised by just how bad Uni did at Stoyer, Sella. They're having good weeks, at least. They've both won their semifinals. Tobin had a quarterfinal loss. Not too bad, especially when he's lacking form right now. Stoyer and Sella both fail to win their finals. That's okay, though. It's good tournaments for them. Quite recall the last time we actually looked at the reports for all the players, but this will be quick. Our midpoint right here is going to be that window of preseason development where they hit things pretty hard. You can see just how slow progression is for Uni now, but if you look closely, while these bars are barely changing, and there's her injury recently this year, and she's recovered just a little bit of ground, you can see that technically she has made some progress. I mean, she's gone from an 11.9 to a 12.3, technically. So things are happening, and we just got her surf spit a level. It's now at a 13, so her latest hit at 13. Next up will be the backhand to intentionally focus on. For Nos, things are good. We just gained both physically and in the other categories of late, and there's a lot of really good, strong attributes in there already, and I feel like this is awfully close to uni levels now. Have we actually caught her? Nos is ever so slightly ahead of uni on physicals now. Of course, the injury, I think, was a factor in that. Ignore form bonuses, but a 16, 18, 16. Still, Nos is exactly 2 points behind in mental development. 2 points is a lot. Of course, there's only 3 attributes there, so it doesn't take as long to kind of bring those along. A lot less training goes into making those happen, and his next level is very close, where uni, well, anticipation is not that far off. Technicals, 11 to 13, all of it. But I'd say this is a solid 12 average. Nos still has 2 9s. Love to take care of that, get us completely average or better at everything. But we're definitely not at a 12 right now. We have just 2 13s. And we do have a handful of 12s, but if anything, at best, that's an 11. Might be a little bit less, but actually I would say that there's a good number of 12s and 13s and a lot of 11s. That offset of the couple of 9s and just a couple of 10s, that's an 11 or better. So less than a point behind technically, 2 points behind mentally, and a fraction, maybe a half a point ahead physically. So yeah, Nos is getting quite close to uni. And with form at the moment, Nos would be able to beat uni head to head. Level playing field, of course. Just attribute base alone and not adjustment for male over female in the way that a surf power of 11 for one is more powerful than a surf power 11 for a female. Let's go a little more quickly through the others. Those two are our focal point anyway, but Igna, great development this year. Really, really, really playing well, performing well, developing well. It's not Nos level, but she is good. She's come a long ways in a short period of time, way ahead of whatever Tanaway ever did. So for an alternative player, she's coming along. It's nice to have another senior player finally, beyond just the 2 focal points of the series up to this stage. Tobin also really coming along physically and making up ground technically. Mental's coming along a little more slowly, but this is good high development rate. Sella, big focus on physical, you can see that pretty clearly. Has made some gains in technical and mental. Almost there physically. Tobin's still got a ways to go. Sella's closer, but Tobin's further ahead in other areas because Sella, like Stoyer, like so many others, were just so far behind coming out of the youth section of the academy. And Stoyer, yeah, ways to go. But about an 8 average there, almost a 9 average here, and other than a 3, we're looking at 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s. So I don't know, 6, 7 kind of average. That's pretty rapid, but oh my goodness, what's happened the last handful of weeks? That's right, we've had so many tournaments, we're not getting much progression at the moment from Stoyer. So that's why I'll be happy to shut down Stoyer early. I've got her playing a little, I've had her a little too active, but she's going to hit her marks, and then we're going to, she's at 17 now, so yeah, 3 to go. I think I'm going to stop putting her into tournaments. Never mind that it's going to hurt her morale. Never mind that it's going to hurt her form. We can get it back at the start of next season. We can just train. It's not going to hurt her ranking that much either because she's already got the ranking points she has. Now, others will score more, especially the juniors. So in the seniors, You have a continual flow of players, a continual pool of players. Some retire, new juniors come in. So, okay, there's a little bit of change. But realistically, you have a revolving calendar and your points last for a year and then they fall off. But in the juniors, you have while that technically is how it works, you have this revolving door of players aging out and then new youths taking their place. And that constant revolving door really, really makes a roller coaster of how the points work at the juniors. So as the year continues and Stoyer stops playing, she will slip down the rankings. And then we'll hit the new year and have that set of points that we have, and it won't hurt us that bad going into next year. It'll hurt us some for this year, but she's going to easily keep her 250. Stoyer finally found things difficult, losing in the first round of a second tier tournament. Meanwhile, Igna, though, in her second tier tournament, seniors, is doing quite well. She's headed to another final, that which she has won comfortably, 6-2, 6-1. And we are at the end of the period, the grass period, the end of Wimbledon. Absolute freaking disaster for us. 2 players go in, only one actually qualifies due to injury, and then loses in the first round. So 0 victories from the team at Wimbledon. Disaster. Really, really hurt. But here is our review of the period with Stoyer climbing into the top 200, winning 10 of 13 matches with 1 tournament victory. Sella, 1 tournament, goes through 4 rounds. Remember, she was injured, so she missed a good amount of time, but she actually still managed to move up the rankings. Tobin, steady, 2 wins in just 4 tournaments. They just came in the last one, back-to-back wins. Had lost the previous 3 in a row, which was why his form was low. Not a very good period of time for Tobin. Igna, doing well, going from 400 to 278 now, so she's almost into the top 250 of the seniors. Right? This is solid. Not a ton of cash, but she's on the verge. Perfect. 15 for 15, 3 tournament wins. Nos. I need to get her into the 3rd tier, apparently. Clearly need to get her into the 3rd tier. Nos. No points won. 2 tournaments, but we only actually played 1 match, and we didn't actually play 1 match. They were withdrawals. So we didn't play anything during this stretch. It was injury situation, so never mind that. Nos didn't even get a chance. Uni stays 7th in the rankings, but does not secure much points or prize money. Played 2 tournaments and lost both matches in the first round. We had a second round exit previously, but that means we had a bye in the first round, so that I hadn't looked at that tournament in particular. I didn't realize that we didn't at least win 1 on our way to that second round exit. It was a bye. Oh, bad stretch for us. This is the worst we've seen in a couple of years of a period, but at least Igna is rocking it right now, and Sella's doing well, and Stoyer's doing pretty well too. Hey, 3 out of 6. I guess that's average, right? That's average. We could afford to be average for a change, for an occasion, for a period. We don't have to dominate all the time. Sella levels up a couple. Serve consistency and drop shot. Tobin recovers some form. Igna. Nos. Hey, triple serve power. That's his strength. Backhand. That's one of his important attributes. And focus. 17. All 3 of those. Really good. Really, really good. Uni makes a little progress. More importantly, picks up some... Oh gosh, Uni picked up a little simple pain. Okay, just minor. She's fine. It's okay. Oh, Stoyer finally struggling, losing in the first round. That's because I bumped her up to the 3rd tier. She's been doing so well. I pushed her all the way up to the 3rd tier. Maybe she's not quite ready for the 3rd tier. She's dominating the 2nd tier, though. Maybe she'll just get the next one. Maybe it was a tough draw. Let's see. Oh, it was a very tough draw. It was the 3 seed, and we won the first set. So, yeah, actually, that's totally fine. I don't expect her to step up to the third tier and instantly win it. I just want her to be competitive, be able to, reach some quarterfinals and show progress towards the next stage, towards the next level. Clearly, we can start at 100 or above for next year. I mean, we're only halfway into the year. She's already up to the third tier. Anyway, that's not disappointing. That's just a tough draw. All right, folks. I need to find a way to get somebody a little bit happier and to claw back form all at the same time. That's what I'm targeting right now, because I do think we are ready to have another shot at it when it comes to that bonus. We're starting to run out of time. I mean, it's mid-July. So Nos's new home. I picked the 5th tier, 125. So we had tried the 4th tier and got some wins. We tried the 7th tier, nearly won. Not tried the 5th tier yet, or at least I don't think we have. This will be our first one, I believe, and our next few will be 5th tier tournaments. So let's see how we do. We're actually the 1 seed. He's had so much success this season that he's accumulated a lot of points, but there's a certain skill level, right? And so we can only push him so high until the skill level kind of catches up with the performance. First round, very close, but a victory. And in straight sets, 7-6, 6-4. We were just 7 points ahead. Service, they actually both are pretty good at it. Technically, that's only a +1. Right? 6 minus 1 is 5. Minus 4 is 1. The winners, +8. The unforced, +4. Forced errors, that's where he kept it a little bit closer with a -7. And breakpoints, neither one did much with that. There weren't too many. They both were pretty solid with their service. Everybody playing this week, though, doing well, winning their first round, including Tobin. Uni, the only one sitting this week out. In terms of ranking, it's a tougher second round, and look what it is. It's Yutao, but it's Chen. It's the brother who's with IMG Academy, and now at 3 stars. 3 stars. Are we at 3 stars now? I would think we are at 3 stars, right, Nos? Yeah, 3 stars. Sweet. But he's also sad and slightly injured, and they are 3-3 all time. Now we're 4-3 all time. We take the advantage in the head-to-head matchup. 6-4, 6-2. Both players pretty similar. We've just climbed a little bit, and really kind of caught up. We're a year behind this Yutao, right? And we've already gotten ahead of him in the rankings. Unforced errors, massive advantage. There's your real difference in this one. Sella out in round 2, Tobin out in round number 2, but 3 move on. Quarterfinal against 208. 3 sets, but it's a win. Came from behind, squeezed out a survival set win, and then won a fairly close 3rd set. So nothing dominant about it. Plus 11 points after 211 played. It's only 53%. Healthy serve advantage. Break points did not go our way. Both won 4, but we had a lot more opportunities. Equal on winners, -2 on unforced, +7 on the forced errors. That is where we actually won this match, along with a little bit of an advantage in service. All 3 win their quarterfinal matches and keep going right on into the semis, where we, Nos, will take on Salazar, the 3 seed, 122nd ranked player, and neither player in the other semifinal is seeded or ranked in the top 150. So this is your pseudo final. It's balanced. They've never played before, and we are out in the semis. So I think Nos has found a good home in the 5th tier. It's challenging. We're not winning them all, but we're performing well enough. The 3 seed knocks off the 1 seed. We had so many more winners, but we did not have a clean day. We shot ourselves in the foot, and we were at 49% of the points, -4, with a -16 on the unforced errors, and a -8 on the forced errors. Didn't have a dominant serve day, though it was a good serve day. Just couldn't keep it clean. Could not keep it clean. So, did ourselves in on that one, but makes me satisfied with the level we're playing at, because the next 3 tournaments are here, and I'm positive that we will get a win in one of those next two. It just seems inevitable, but at least we're feeling like that's the right level for us at the moment as we continue our climb. Before long, we'll be in those 250s and starting to play in major tournaments on a regular basis, and not just a slam with little hope of getting out of the first round and no hope of getting out of the second round, but proper competitive big tournaments. Not the 1Ks, not the 500s yet, but we're not far off from those 250s. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm the Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.